Hi everyone, thanks for joining early. Let's wait for about a minute till we get started. Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome to Series 2 of our Prime Day webinar. So today we're going to be talking about how you can get ready for Prime Day 2022 and the best practice to double your sales during this peak season. I'm Ethan, Account Manager at Amazon Global Selling, and we are covering the North America marketplaces. So before we get into the details, do take note that this session will be recorded. We will be sending you a follow-up email after this webinar with the recording link so that you'll be able to watch the session again on demand. If you have any questions, feel free to jot them down in the Q&A box, and my colleagues and myself will assist to answer it throughout this session. So here's the agenda today. We'll be going through briefly on how to create different type of listings, listing optimization tips and tricks, the key checklists that you need to take note of in order to drive greater discoverability to your listing page, and also the Prime Day FBA cutoff date. And lastly, we'll be having a live Q&A session. So firstly, I'll go through the steps on how to create a listing. So before you start listing, here are the 3 key questions you need to ask yourself. So firstly, are you intending to list under a brand name? If yes, and if you have an eligible trademark, start enrolling into Amazon Brand Registry so that you'll be able to gain access to Amazon brand building tools such as A+ content or stores. If you wish to list under your own brand name but you do not have a trademark, you will need to apply for a brand name exemption. You need to check if your brand name is eligible to be exempted via Seller Central, and you also need to ensure that your brand name is also permanently affixed onto your product and or packaging. So, and the next thing, does the product you intend to sell require additional listing approval? So certain categories require sellers to obtain a pre-approval from Amazon before you are allowed to start creating a listing. So for instance, the common one would be if you wish to sell in grocery category, you typically need to submit your FDA cert. And selling toys for children below 13 years old, it will require you to submit a CPC cert. So you can simply head on to Seller Central and search for our restricted product policy to learn more. And lastly, do you have a manufacturer barcode? If yes, proceed to start listing and input your manufacturer barcode upon listing creation. However, if you do not have a manufacturer barcode, you can check if you are available for a GTIN exemption. If not, you will need to purchase a barcode from GS1. Don't worry if you did not catch everything. There's a listing guide handout available for you to download and read at your own time. There's also a step-by-step flow chart that guides you to start listing quickly. We'll be sending this in the follow-up email, or alternatively, you can download the handouts now. So here are the total of 3 listing creation methods. Firstly, manual listing is suitable if you have less than 10 products. You may proceed to create your listing one by one by adding the products under the catalog menu. Secondly, if you have more than 10 products, you can choose to bulk upload your listing details. Do take note that bulk upload feature is only available for sellers with a professional selling account. So if you wish to use the bulk upload tool, simply head over to Inventory, select Add Product via Upload, and you will need to select the category you wish to sell in and proceed to download the relevant Excel inventory file and just input your product details and re-upload again in order to submit. So don't worry, again, there is a step-by-step tutorial on Seller University. So if you wish to upload your product but is unsure of how to do so, you can actually head over to Seller University to find out more. And lastly, if you wish to sell a product that's already available or listing on Amazon's catalog, meaning if it's already selling on Amazon.com, you may choose to match to an existing listing. So do a search under Seller Central Catalog to see if your product name or barcode already has an existing listing. If so, you may proceed to match to the existing listing and set your offer price directly. If you have any questions, again, do feel free to jot them down and we'll answer it in the live Q&A segment. And next, some of you may have products with multiple variations, and the products may vary in many ways, be it color or sizes, but they can share a single product title. So typically, buyers will expect to find these products together on a single product page. And for a better customer experience, also for cross-selling different products variation, we'll advise sellers with such products to create a variation family. So to explain further, or more specifically, there can be two types of variations that can be created, as you can see on the screen. Firstly, if your product only vary in one configuration, for example, color, you can list under a single variation. On the other hand, if your product vary in two configuration, for example, color and size, you may list under a double variation. So how can sellers create a variation? You can proceed to add a product via Seller Central Catalog as per normal. Once the listing template appear, click onto the Variation tab, select the relevant variation types to start listing. We do also have a step-by-step guide on Seller University on how to create a product variation so that you'll be able to take reference from there. Meanwhile, if you face any error or technical difficulties, do reach out to seller partner support first. And if they are unable to resolve, you may reach out to your account manager. So here are some of the common FAQ questions from sellers regarding listings. Firstly, I purchased barcodes from GS1 but received the following error message when I tried to create my product listing. So on this case, simply open a case with seller partner support, attach all supporting documents from GS1 for verification to prove that this barcode belongs to you. If SPS is unable to provide any solution, so do reach out to your account manager and forward the case ID. And next, I wish to sell in a closed or gated category, but my documents are rejected. So if your documents are rejected, again, raise a case on seller partner support with your supporting documents. And if they aren't able to provide any resolution, reach out to your account manager so we can have a look at what you are lacking and what's your documents, and we can proceed to escalate internally as well. I currently have an active listing in another marketplace. How can I migrate my listing over to Amazon.com? So for instance, let's say you're already selling on Amazon.sg, you may leverage on the Build International Listing tool to help you create and update offers from a single source marketplace to one or more target marketplace. For instance, trying to cross-list from Amazon.sg to Amazon.com. So all you need to do is log into Seller Central, click onto Inventory, select Sell Globally, and thereafter select View International Listing. But also do take note, let's say if Build International Listing is facing some technical errors, you're unable to port your listing over, especially if you have less than 5 ASINs you want to sell, I would highly recommend you to just directly create your listing manually. And lastly, why can't I see my product when I search it on Amazon.com? In this case, let's say for new sellers, typically your visibility will be much lower compared to products that are already selling on .com. So in this case, to boost up your sales ranking or search ranking, you'll need to leverage on advertising tools such as sponsored products to increase your product visibility on Amazon. So do rewatch or attend webinars conducted by our in-house advertising expert to learn how to create and optimize your Amazon campaigns. We do have a series of Amazon advertising webinars that will be held by our in-house expert in May regarding Prime Day. So I do highly recommend you to register for those 3 webinars that are upcoming. I'll be sharing the QR code at the end of the webinar, so do scan that and register for it later on. And now let me go through how you can optimize your listings. So listing optimization is crucial to improve the discoverability of your ASIN on Amazon.com, and sharing detailed description and images of your product will allow customers to make a more informed purchase decision. Overall, by having a attractive and well-informed listing allows you to have a higher listing conversion. So as you can see on the slide, these 6 are the key things that will impact your listings. Leave notes and search terms will help to improve your discoverability, whereas product bullet points, images, description, and A+ content helps to enhance your listing and catalog. So I'll be going through these items in detail in the subsequent slides as well. So firstly, leave notes are key attributes to guide buyers to select and filter items effectively on Amazon.com. Amazon customers find products through search and browse, so you will need to classify your products so that they'll appear under the right leave notes. So for example, if a buyer wish to buy a wallet, some attributes that they might select and filter can be the brand name, color map, price, style, and pattern. So it is important to ensure that your product has included all relevant leaf notes such that you will not miss any sales opportunity from sellers when they try to select, from buyers when they try to select and purchase product through this method. So how you can edit your leaf notes? Simply click into your product listing page, select vital info and more details, and proceed to add or update all relevant attributes for all listings. And next, in order for customers to find your products on Amazon, it's also important to provide search terms they might use when searching for what they want to buy. So most of the Amazon customers probably already know what they want to buy and may search for the products directly on our search bar with all the relevant keywords. Hence, it is crucial to ensure that your product listing has included all these hidden keyword search terms in your product listing page, such that it will appear in the search result, which will lead to more high purchase intent customers clicking into your product listing page. So do take note that your search terms should be less than 250 characters. It should cover features such as product name, brand name, or some key product attributes. You may choose to use 2 to 3 words phrases as well. So do avoid adding in irrelevant keywords, promotional wordings, and subjective words. The search terms are not case sensitive, so do remember you do not have to repeat words in capital or small letters. Also, if you have no idea on what kind of keywords to add, there are 3 ways to source for relevant keywords. So firstly, it would be information collection from similar listing. So simply head on to Amazon.com, do a quick search on products that are similar to yours. Have a look at their listing page, their description and bullet points to see what are the keywords that they are adding in. Next, look at your customer reviews to extract some of the keywords that they are highlighting, especially product benefits that they are highlighting in your reviews. And lastly would be your advertising search term reports. So this can be downloaded from your advertising console. You may filter to see what are the top converting keywords from your sponsored campaign, and just simply use that and add that in as your keyword. So how can you add in and update your search term keywords? You can simply click into your product listing page and select keywords. And next, okay, for the next up, it will be the bullet points. So product bullet points actually help you sell features and benefits of your product. These are descriptive text about specific aspects of a product, which can appear on your detail page. Usually up to 5 bullet points can be included. It's better to keep your bullet points clear and concise. A general piece of advice is to keep your bullet points under 1,000 characters. So in total for all 5 bullet points, not per bullet, being less than 1,000 characters generally helps to improve your readability. And well-written bullet points will naturally contain keywords, but the first priority should be to communicate clearly and help customers make a buying decision. So here are some key things to note. Do highlight the key features you want buyers to consider. For instance, size, dimension, age appropriateness, ideal condition for the product, skill level, contents, and country of origin, and so on. So do take note that you need to maintain a consistent order. If your first bullet point is country of origin, keep that same order for all your product listing pages. So you can also reiterate important information from the title as well as description. Do take note that you should not include promotional and pricing information. And we will recommend all sellers to have a minimum of 4 product feature bullets for all your product listing. So how can you edit your product bullet points? You can click into your product listing, select description, and head over to the bullet point section. Okay, next question. Someone is asking about the expected day of Prime Day. Later, I'll be covering the FBA cutoff date, and that should serve as a good gauge on how you should work backwards to prepare for your store launch, or let's say if you intend to replenish your inventory. Okay, next up, we have product images. So every detail page in Amazon stores requires at least 1 product image, and we recommend you to provide at least 3 images and 1 video, with the main image allowing customers to zoom in to see your product details. So good images make it easy for customers to evaluate the product and make a more informed purchase decision. So image should be clear, informative, and attractive. So generally speaking, having a image which is in high resolution and zoomable, it may increase your listing discoverability from like 5 to up to 20%, depending on the category you wish to sell in. So as you can see on the slide, first image is the main image shown to customers in general and in the search result. So it should be high resolution and have a white background such that the image will be zoomable for customers to view the product in detail. So for additional images, you may show the product in use in different angle or even in an environment of usage. So this helps to give an idea to customers on where they could potentially use this product, highlights your product key USP, and forms a better imagery of your products in the minds of customers. You can edit or upload more images of your products directly through your product listing pages. And next we have product description, and this is actually situated on the lower side of your detail page. It gives you an opportunity to provide more information about your product that the customer can take into account before they purchase. So you can include details about benefits, usage, and also product purpose. So for instance, we have included an example in this slide. This description helps to form a better idea of what your product or even brand is all about, with additional information that may not be included in your product bullet points. So you may add and update your description directly by clicking into your listing page and select description. Lastly, when each page on Amazon has a similar feel to ensure a consistent customer experience, how can you stand out from your competitors' listing? So we have A+ content, and this feature is available exclusively to registered brand owners only. This means that you need to have a trademark and you are enrolled into Amazon Brand Registry. So A+ content is an additional rich text and image content available in the bottom section of your product detail page. And A+ content gives you more control over your detail page and the ability to add content to enhance your customer experience. So this helps your customers make a more well-informed decision while maintaining the basic tenets of the customer experience. So there are some benefits of A+ content, and this includes, firstly, sales uplift. Studies have shown that increased traffic and also conversion that comes with adding high quality A+ can actually drive your sales increase for more than 5% in the first year. Secondly, it also helps to reduce customer returns and also negative reviews. This is a topic that comes up really often. So how can I avoid customer returns and negative reviews? Generally, by providing more specific information about your product, for instance, like adding in A+ content, it helps customers again make a more informed decision on what the product is all about. And this can lead to fewer returns and fewer negative customer reviews. And lastly, it would be to encourage repeat purchases. It can help you share your brand story and also information about your products that can help develop brand loyalty. So you can create your A+ content by creating advertising and selecting A+ content manager. Thereafter, proceed to start creating A+ content by clicking on the button at the top right corner. So again, do take note that A+ content is only exclusive to registered brand owners on brand registry. So if you have an eligible trademark, for instance, USPTO or IPOS trademark, which is like either a US trademark or SG trademark, start enrolling into Amazon brand registry so that you are able to gain like early access to brand building tools like A+ content. So before we move on to the next segment, let me introduce to you the listing quality dashboard. This listing quality dashboard is a tool on Seller Central that highlights important product information for customers. So these recommendations are focused on helping you to improve the discoverability of your products, which help enable better customer experience like product overview or tabular spec view, and reducing returns on your product, and helps to reduce returns on your product. Yeah. So the dashboard shows you product listings that requires improvement, and also directly provides you recommendation on which product attribute you should provide. So by adding the recommended information for your products, you can improve your discovery. They will provide your least node recommendations to add, especially if you haven't already done so. Adding these attributes will ensure that customers don't miss your product when it meets the customer requirements and the filters are being used. And also it will help to enable the product overview experience. So product overview is a new experience that will highlight important product attributes above the bullet point on the product detail pages. So currently this is only available for a limited number of product type. But this is a good feature that will help customers evaluate your products easier and make a faster buying decision once they see the key information, even before they continue reading your bullet points or even description. Currently, the team is also working on to enable this for more product types as well. And next would be potentially reducing customer returns. So like I mentioned earlier on, sometimes customers often return products due to a lack of critical product information on product detail page. For instance, like compatibility features for headphones as well as cables. So by adding more information, you might help to reduce the number of returns that you're getting. And lastly, it will help you to make time-sensitive actions. The tool will highlight listing information that needs to be filled in by a certain date in order to prevent possible suppression. I would highly recommend all of you to check your listing quality dashboard at least once a week. Our system identify important missing product attributes on a real-time basis, so do frequently check in either on a daily or weekly basis to check what are the latest recommendations populated by Seller Central. So now let me bring you through the Prime Day cutoff date. So here is a timeline we have proposed for you to work backwards and ensure that you are well stocked and prepared before Prime Day. The FBA cutoff date for Prime Day is 20th June 2022. So this means that your inventory must arrive and check in at our US fulfillment center for it to be eligible for sale during Prime Day. So first and foremost, especially for new sellers, finalize the selection of product you wish to sell on Amazon right now if you haven't already done so. This is so that you have sufficient time to liaise with your supplier to manufacture your product and send in to FBA by early May. So the reason why I would recommend all of you to ship by early May is because most of you are probably using sea shipment, and it typically takes around 1 to 2 months to reach our US fulfillment center. So given the pandemic situation, especially in China right now, I would highly recommend you to start shipping your products in by early May to be safe. So after a while your inventory is pending shipment, you will need to start scheduling for Prime Day promotions. So you can leverage on Prime exclusive discounts or coupons to take advantage of the peak season traffic, and also to maximize your sales opportunities during Prime Day this year. So again, to learn more about Prime Day merchandising tools and checklists, I would highly recommend you to sign up for Series 3 of our Prime Day webinar. I'll be sharing the QR code at the end of this session so that you may head over to register and learn more in May. So with that, I've come to the end of the webinar, and before we move on to the Q&A segment, please help to share your feedback through a short survey so that we know how we can improve our content in order to help you better. It's a survey with about 2 to 3 questions only, so do help to fill that out. And next, do follow us on our Facebook page if you haven't already done so that you'll be able to receive tips and advices on selling on Amazon.com. And lastly, here's the QR code where you can scan and start signing up for other Prime Day webinars, such as like our FBA webinar, our advertising series, as well as the merchandising checklist webinar. So do sign up for that, and it will help you prepare much better for the upcoming Prime Day. Okay, so I've pretty much gone through everything. So let me just answer some of the questions that are in the Q&A box. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, just feel free to keep asking and we'll answer it all in this session. So I think a few of you are asking when is the expected day of Prime Day, and Prime Day is scheduled in June or July. Unfortunately, even for myself, I do not have the visibility on when is the exact Prime Day. But like I mentioned in the earlier slide, we do have the FBA cutoff date. So if you wish to participate in Prime Day this year, you'll need to send in your shipment by 20th June. Yeah. So likely Prime Day might be in July, but do wait for further notice and updates. Typically, I think Amazon will announce it in the news or media 1 month before Prime Day. Yeah. So meanwhile, just look at our timeline and make sure that you do prepare and ship in your product by then if you want to participate in Prime Day. Yeah, so Amazon hasn't announced the accurate date yet. Usually it will be announced about 1 month before or nearer to the actual date. And next would be, should we include long tail keywords for EBC backend, and what is the best approach? So typically I would not advise you to add in such a long tail keyword. But it also depends on like the type of product you are trying to sell. So like I mentioned in earlier slides, let me head on back to search terms. So you can use the same methodology when you try to add in keywords for your EBC. So do follow the guidelines, and you can see over here. Do make sure like you use maybe just 2 to 3 word phrases instead of like a long phrase like up to five words, and make sure you cover the key important features. And if you don't know how to source for your keywords, do look at similar listing, customer reviews, or your advertising search term report. I hope that answers your question. Does anybody have any other questions? Do take note that this session is recorded, so you'll be receiving the recording in the follow-up email, as well as some of the handouts regarding listing and how you can optimize your listing. If you could provide more information on search term one should use in EBC backend, it should help a lot. Yes, like I mentioned, you can apply the same methodology as the search term keywords. Yeah, which I've shared in earlier slides. So I'll be sending a handout in the follow-up email. So do look at that, and you can refer to that to start sourcing for your keywords. Yeah. Any other questions from attendees? If you have any question regarding Prime Day, selling on Amazon, FBA, or any other topics, feel free to ask it in this session. If you have no other question, just feel free to leave this call, but of course, help us fill up the survey first before you leave. If our rating is not more than 3-star, that means we are unable to do PED. Yes, unfortunately, the rating for PED, your rating must be above, if I'm not wrong, it must be 3.5 for store and 4 for product rating. Let me take a look. Yeah, but if technically if you're not allowed to create Prime exclusive discount, you won't be able to successfully create for Prime Day. Okay, let me quickly navigate here to check. Yes, so you'll need a minimum of 4-star seller rating as well as a rating of 3.5 stars and above, or no reviews if you're a new seller. So if you are unable to create your Prime exclusive discount, don't worry. You'll be able to create a coupon in order to still participate in Prime Day. And one good thing about coupon is, let's say if you're a new seller, currently we do have the new seller incentive, and you'll be eligible for the $50 coupon credit to offset the redemption fees. What is the best sponsored campaign type for Prime Day? Um, if you're a new seller, typically I'll recommend you to get started with an automatic campaign. So start running that on your advertising console. If you're on FBA and launch this year, you should be able to get up to $200 sponsored product campaign in order to launch your first uh, advertising campaign on Amazon. So do create your advertising campaign, automatic campaign, I mean, first. So after your automatic campaign typically matures in about 2 to 3 weeks, then download the search term report, extract all the top converting keywords, and you may proceed to create a manual campaign after that to lower your overall advertising cost. Can I ask question on selling in marketplace in Singapore? Is Singapore warehouse also operates FBA like US. Unfortunately, I only manage the North America marketplace. So if you are asking about in-depth questions regarding Amazon.sg, I wouldn't be able to answer. But Amazon.sg do have a FBA warehouse. Yeah, they do operate with FBA. When should we start to create a coupon for Prime? You can actually start to schedule your coupons for Prime Day now. So you need, if you wish to start scheduling for Prime Day, there's actually a placeholder date which you need to input in order for you to participate. So just let me share with you quickly. Let me get the instructions. Okay, so if you're already seeing the screen right now, so Prime member coupons, if you wish to enroll, if unfortunately, let's say if you are not able to schedule a Prime exclusive discount, you can start scheduling right now. Simply put a placeholder date, as you can see over here. Then once Prime Day is announced, backend in Seller Central will automatically update your placeholder dates to the actual Prime Day. Yeah. So don't worry, we'll be covering this as well in our merchandising checklist webinar, which is upcoming in around mid next month. And we'll be sending an email to you so that you can get started with scheduling your coupons. Also, if you have any question, feel free to reach out to your account manager. For Irene, I think I'm your account manager, so you can reach out to me if you have any questions. Is there a deadline for creating PED on Amazon? So typically the deadline would be one day before the prime actual day. But typically we won't advise you to schedule it, last minute, because sometimes your product might be suppressed, or there might be some technical issues that you might need to resolve with seller partner support, or you may need your account manager help with. So the submission date for Prime exclusive discount is already out. So just head on to Prime exclusive discount. If you are eligible to run, there's actually a checkbox which you can tick. Is this a Prime Day discount? You just tick that and start scheduling for your Prime exclusive discount. Is Prime Day eligible or available for EU Marketplace? Unfortunately, I do not have visibility on EU Marketplace and what is their Prime Day plans. You'll need to look out for the news on EU Seller Central. Usually it will be announced there. Yeah. So before any of you drop off, please help to fill out the survey. Are there any other questions from anyone over here? Or if you have a follow-up question on your previous question, which I maybe didn't answer it properly, feel free to ask it. Please help to fill up the survey before you leave if you have no other questions. I'll just leave it here for maybe about another minute or two. If there are no other questions, then I'll be ending this webinar early. Can I check how can I contact Aramex service provider for shipping to FBA US? I tried to contact them but couldn't reach. Okay, so regarding this, give me a minute. Let me see whether I can just pull out their email address quickly. Okay, let me see. Okay, I managed to see their email address. Let me reply to your question. Questions. Please email. Okay, are there any other questions? If not, please help us to fill out the survey before you leave. Yeah, actually, for you, let's say if Aeromax doesn't reply, actually there are many other commercialized logistic provider out there. For instance, like UPS, DHL, uh, FedEx. You can also look out for a logistic provider under the Amazon Service Provider Network. We do have a few that should be familiar with the FBA process, which you can reach out to them. Any other questions? If not, I'll be ending this webinar. Yeah, if no other questions, thank you everyone for attending this webinar. If you have, let me see. Yeah, if I walked into any branch, I don't know they know about FBA US. Yeah, so in that case, I would highly recommend you to reach out to logistic providers under the Amazon Service Provider Network. They should be familiar. Aramex, I think they did a couple of shipment for Malaysian sellers, and they do have a dedicated team that helps with Malaysian sellers selling into North American marketplace. So do try to contact them via the email first. Yeah. If there are no other questions, then we'll end this call earlier. So thank you everyone for attending. If you have any question, just reach out to seller partner support or your account managers. And do sign up for our other Prime Day webinars as well. Thank you so much.